I looked at the mirror and I was like, I guess so. You do look like, you know, a black Asian. And I was like, And I also realized that I have this ability where I can morph into another race. If you hand me 1 cup of beer and I drink it, I'll become the original American. It's the version Asian. All right. Usually there would be 3 types of people who would laugh at that joke. Type number 1, they're racist. Type number 2, they're very good at history. And type number 3, they're racist, who is very good at history. So a little bit about myself. My name is Trọng, and I am 22 years old, and I am still a student, and I have been a student for 16 years. That means I stopped being creative when I was 6, and 16 years of being a student. That's like you're being married to an awful woman who's very rich. You don't really like her, but with her you have a future. All right. So I also have a part-time job, and that is I'm an English teacher. I teach English for kids, or you can call me a babysitter with an IM certificate. Most of the students in my English center, they are very young. So most of the time when I speak English to them, they don't really understand what is going on, and they just repeat whatever it is that they hear. So usually I would go, there's this one student, I talk to him, I go, hey, what do you do after school? He goes, I play soccer. Aw, you play soccer with your friend? Yes, I play soccer with your friend. Took a while for that joke to land. Alright, where was I? Okay. Have you guys ever tried to, when you were young, you ever tried to tell your your folks a joke? Ever tried to? I think if you try, you know that now you shouldn't, because I've tried before. I tell my mom about the jokes where, the babysitter jokes, and she start lecturing me about how much effort she's made for me to become a babysitter. So lesson learned right there. All right, what was I? Okay, so I'll talk about my mom. My mom, she's a great person, but when I was a kid, I remember that my mom and my dad, they used to argue a lot. And when I turned 9 years old, the arguments started to get a little bit more serious. So things get a little bit more physical. Actions were involved. It's like I get to enjoy different sequence actions every day. It was pretty exciting. So I realized that I was much luckier than other kids my age, because they need their parents to take them to a movie theater to see something like that. But I get to be on set 24/7. There we go. Back then, my family was struggling. You can compare our financial situations to a woman's mood. It's hard to guess and very unstable. So that's why I never asked them for cheap toys. I love toys. As a kid, I love toys so much. I have tons of them, and I used to play with all of the toys before I go to sleep on my bed. And back then I thought that toys is just a kid thing. But now I've grown up, I realized that adults love toys too. You guys also use them in bed. That was a very roundabout jokes about a sex toy. The reason why I have to go all the way just to tell that one joke because in the Vietnamese culture, we don't really talk about sex or we discuss sex that openly. When we talk about it or when I do refer to it in my act, I try to approach it indirectly. So that's why I like to refer to my jokes as dry humor. That's that singing for a while. Alright, so anyway, back to the story. So even though my parents, they argue about a lot of things, but there's one thing that both of them agree on, and that is no matter what, I have to be able to, enjoy the best education that they could afford. For that, I'm forever grateful for that. So because of that, in elementary school, I study in Thủ district, but then when I moved to secondary school, I study in District 1. And when I got to District 1, this is when I realized that most of the kids in my class, they all sort of have it better than me, and it sort of made me feel sad to be around them. But there's just one particular thought that made me feel all better when I'm around them, and that is none of these kids would ever have the chance to see as much action movies as I did. Alright, that's my time. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Tom.